Okay, that is crazy, man. That is crazy. Okay, that is crazy, man. That is crazy. Okay, that is crazy, man. That is crazy. Hello. Let me just add the Pomodoro. I'll be using Pomodoro on this display and that display as well. So post capture device, add a capture, window capture, browser window capture. Browser, Firefox. But the better option would be just to take a window, add window capture file. I'm just doing a basic setup here. I'll be continuing my studies just after that. What the hell is this title? What is wrong with this?
Alright, I'm pretty sure you're excited to start writing your very first. It is one of the most easiest code that you're going to write, and it's super fun as well. In the first half of the video, we're going to first understand the theoretical part of it, what is HTML, and then we're going to create some of the code files and we'll walk you through how you can write HTML in a professional manner, in a fast manner, by using the shortcuts of the VS Code, and you'll be able to write like a sailing, like a breeze. It is so easy to work with that. Not only that, I will walk you through with the foundational basics of HTML so that it helps you to write a better and efficient code and efficient HTML, which is pretty awesome. And I'm going to walk you through that it's not just about having an HTML on the screen itself, your laptop screen or your mobile screen. HTML is actually used on a variety of interfaces, something that you know but you haven't thought it that way. For example, there are a lot of screen readers on which HTML actually has to work. Even on your aeroplanes, when you see those screens where you watch movies, yeah, that's also HTML. So there is a lot of ways how HTML is being rendered and is being used, not just on HTML or the mobile phones. There are so many ways how it is being adapted and is being utilized. And we're going to work through with all of them so that you can write proficient HTML that works on any platform, anywhere. And it's going to be semantic, it's going to be accessible. That means people who have accessibility issue or the devices which have accessibility issue can also have your HTML. But enough of that. First, let's get on to the theory part and figure out what is HTML. For this, we need to actually go through with some of the diagrams, and don't worry, it's not that bad. It's actually easy. So this is a HTML hypertext markup language. So the idea behind the HTML and the innovation or the experimentation, how the HTML came into the picture, was just research paper. In the earlier days, scientists wanted to spread around their research work and send those research papers to multiple people, and that's where the web was invented. And in that time, there was a need that how can I actually on the screen or on the web can put these headings and these paragraphs and these tables where I have put up my research work, I can share with them. And that's where the HTML was born. So the idea behind the HTML came up as that we will have some of the tags, and the way how the tags are actually worked or something looks like this. So we have an HTML that looks like this, and then there is a closing. So this is in the next onwards lecture, we're going to study more about some of the attributes, some more important part of it, and some more forms and elements, how you can take input from the user and all these things. Again, the lectures are going to be a little longer, but they're going to be fun. Let's catch up in the next video.
What the hell, man? No. Tell me.
Alright, so now buckle up. The video lectures are going to be increased in the length now from now onwards, because there is no point in creating the videos which are just of 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, because the moment the video starts, it just ends up. We need to have a more formalized lecture so that you feel connectivity, you stay in the comfort zone and we write some code together. So yes, my style of teaching is very comforty. You enjoy, sit back, just like I'm watching you, you are watching me, and we are having a one-to-one conversation. We're going to follow this one, so lectures are going to be a little bit longer in length. You can always bookmark the timing where you feel it's important, or you want to continue maybe some another day or after 1 hour, so that's okay. So now we're going to be writing some more code, and we're going to discuss the documentation, the flaws of the documentation, what's wrong with them, and we're going to write a whole lot of code. One thing I would like you to take down as a note, you do not need to learn everything in the HTML. And in fact, nobody knows everything in the HTML. You learn on the go, you learn on the requirement basis, what you need at that point of time, and what are some good practices and where you can find when to learn. That's the magic of the programming. Nobody knows everything, but we all know how to find that information and where to look for that information. That's exactly the goal, and that's where you are going to head it up next in the HTML. So buckle up, it's going to be a little longer lecture. I'm going to sipping up some water and some stuff near in between, so don't mind that. Alright, let me share the screen with you and walk you through with the documentation first. So this is the documentation. So if you go ahead and look for MDN HTML, and by the way, there are a couple of other ways of how you can find the HTML documentation as well. For example, if I go ahead and look for HTML, and there is a very famous school which is known as W3 Schools. A lot of time people have tried to learn from this as well. It gives you everything. HTML introduction, to headings, to paragraphs, to formatting, to codes and colors. And it's so much overwhelming that it is very difficult to learn all these things. Some people have tried to go through with each lessons and still don't feel comfortable that they can actually write HTML. Now same goes for the MDN as well. This one is even a crazier of documentation, and especially for somebody who is getting started. If you go on to MDN HTML, which is my favorite documentation, you're going to see that it's almost impossible to read through the what to read, what to avoid, what to skip. There is no point. If I open up this one here, it says HTML tables directly, then the introduction here. What's going on? Multimedia? Already on the multimedia section, if I open up the reference, it gives you all the tags, even the deprecated ones which no longer exist. Oh boy, look at this, big. Even I don't know what this big is. I have no idea about it. And that's the reality. That's how you learn the things. There is a way and there is a style of how you learn through these documentation, you navigate through them, and there needs a guidance of how it needs to go through. And that's why you're watching this video. So together we're going to be going through with a whole set of these documentation which are required, which are not required, and how we can go through with that. We'll walk through with that. For some of them, we're going to take a reference from the MDN because this is much of a better resource compared to the W3C. It is also good, I'm not saying that, but we're going to get started. We obviously need to get started at some point, so we're going to get started with this one. So we have already gone through with the HTML part of it, what is HTML and all of that. Now first of all, we'll be onto this MDN page. Inside the guides, just keep on scrolling, and the first thing that you're going to see is the content categories. If you look at the content categories, there are mainly three types of content categories. The main content categories, the form related and the specific content. It gives zero idea what it is. Yes. And if you look at the scrolling section, it says metadata content. Then if you look at flow content, and then after scrolling a lot, it says sectioning of the content. Then it says heading I know, I get it. It's really long. So why don't we jump directly into the code part of it and see that what we can go and how we can learn it. Alright, it's better to learn here and then reference the documentation in between. First of all, let's create a new file. We're going to call this one as 01 and we're going to call this one as intro.html. Yes, you can call your file as 01. The better naming convention is to use underscores. It's easier because in the web browser, spaces are not really a good thing. So keep a habit of either using underscore or dashes are also fine, but no spaces. And the first step is exclamation, hit the tab. And notice already you are going through like really fast. Hit the tab key once, hit the tab key one more time, and now your cursor is at the document. Hold down your option key, delete this entire world, and I'm going to go ahead and say headings. So we're going to study about headings in this case. Hit the tab key one more time and you'll be inside the body. Now here's the small trick. Just like you can hit HTML, H1 and hit the tab key, it fills it up. This time I want you to do something different. Go ahead and write H1 and after that use these arrow symbol and then write lorem and just say 6 and then go ahead and hit the tab. Now I will walk you through what this is and I will walk you through with the documentation of it, but most of the things you don't need to worry. You will learn on the go in this lecture itself. Go ahead and hit the tab key. But remember, don't hit the space and then tab. It doesn't work like that. And if you have cleared a space or everything, now it's not going to work with the tab. It needs to be all in the one flow. So once you hit the 6 here and you see some suggestions which says emit abbreviation, go ahead and hit the tab and this will be nice. So in this
I'll get
मॉन्क मोड
something
एक
to
एक
eat.
ऐसा कॉन्सेप्ट जिसको लोग इस्तेमाल करते हैं टू जोन इन, टू ग्रो इन लाइफ। असल में ये होता क्या है, जैसे मंक लोग होते हैं पहाड़ों पे चले जाते हैं, संन्यास ले लेते हैं, दुनियादारी से कोई मतलब नहीं, बिजी हैं अपने आप में, मेडिटेशन कर रहे हैं, स्पिरिचुअलिटी में घुस रहे हैं। ऐसे ही आप इस रोज़मर्रा की ज़िंदगी में कैसे घुस सकते हैं अपने काम में, घोस्ट कर सकते हैं, फ़ोन डाउन, डिस्ट्रैक्शंस डाउन, काम में लगे पड़े हो, किसी से कोई मतलब नहीं, और फिर निकल के बाहर आते हो सबकी फटके 4 क्या 64 हो जाती है कि बंदा आया कहाँ से। तो दैट इज़ व्हाट मंक मोड इज़। तो सेटअप थोड़ा न्यू है, बोरिंग लग रहा है, इंटरेस्टिंग बनाए इसको, तो अब चीज़ थोड़ी बेटर लग रही है। लेट्स गेट स्ट्रेट इनटू इट। तो मेरी आस यहाँ पे क्या है, मेरी आस यहाँ पे ये है कि भाई साहब 90 डेज़ तक जोन इन हो जाना। अगर तुम्हें लगता है कि ये बहुत आसानी से आ जाएगा, जो भी मैं बताने वाला हूँ मैं बताऊँगा, ज्ञान मिल जाएगा और उसको अप्लाई करना शुरू कर दोगे, एकदम ज़िंदगी चेंज हो जाएगी, ऐसा नहीं होने वाला। तुम ये वीडियो स्किप करके जा सकते हो, बिकॉज दिस इज़ नॉट फॉर यू। ग्रोथ इन लाइफ इज़ नॉट एज सिंपल एज यू थिंक, बट एज सिंपल एज यू थिंक। अगर तुम सारे चेक पॉइंट्स टिक करते जा रहे हो तो इट्स जस्ट एन इक्वेशन में अपने वेरिएबल्स डालना शुरू करो और ज़िंदगी बदल जाएगी। अब हम आ जाते हैं यहाँ पे, मैं आईपैड पे शुरू कर देता हूँ जो भी मुझे करना है। तो इस वीडियो को मैंने डिवाइड किया हुआ है 4 पार्ट्स में, वीडियो डिवाइडेड रहेगा। सबसे पहले हम लोग सीखेंगे मेंटली कैसे ग्रो करना है। मेंटालिटी
This guy is just mental masturbation at this point, to be honest. ये तो ढंग का तो बताता नहीं है ये। ढंग का तो बताता नहीं है। This guy is just mental masturbation at this point, to be honest. ये तो ढंग का तो बताता नहीं है।
Life gets very
Sankapur,
confusing.
one of the best and one of the finest, like not the finest is so like big term, but one of the best YouTubers. I actually like their content. They're not just shit posting on the internet, they actually provide value. So yes, we are watching a Sankapur video. I'll pause this, I'll bring myself a dish of food, plate of food, something to eat. It would be a better term. So yes, wait for 10 minutes, brother. Wait for 10 minutes, I will be back.
do, a lot of us feel directionless. But such is the beauty of life. You will go places, face problems your parents never told you about, and learn a lot of things along the way. Last night I was looking at old photos from college, and I could not help but wonder what are the things I would tell my 18-year-old self about life, about people, and about myself. But I can't, and neither do I have any younger siblings, so here we are. I'll try to be the elder brother that I never had. And the first thing that I like to say is to buy that expensive coffee. So one thing I've learned is that you can only actively focus on one of two things, either saving money or earning money. Saving money can be bought into systems, but earning money should always be your first priority if you're especially in that particular age bracket. Because even if you save like 300 rupees on coffee every single day, that is barely a little more than 1 lakh over a year. But what if you could have that coffee, because it makes you feel so better, and you can work so much better, and you can make 5 lakhs or 6 lakhs more in a year. It is ultimately a better deal. So if you really like something, if you're really passionate on something, be it manga or be it coffee or something else, don't listen to people, because they will always tell you to save money on this, save money on that. I think you should focus more on earning more money so you can spend more money. That's the whole point. I think so. And point number two is that suffering is not cool. I remember back in school days, like when someone used to be upset or mad, they would remove their WhatsApp PFP. It will be a black PFP or no PFP. People would put songs in their stories or WhatsApp statuses. And it's not just other people. I have noticed that when I was a teenager or even when I was 20, I felt great getting sympathy from people, and I often cared less about the situation and more about how I can benefit from it. So let's just put one thing out there: responsible adults are not going to give a shit if you are suffering just for the sake of suffering. Like really high impact people, people who are productive, people who are doing something with their life, they do not like people who are whining every single day about something or the other just to get some sympathy or just to make them feel good about not doing anything in their life. So suffering is not cool, guys. If you're actually suffering, share it with people as long as it's genuine, and then you have to put an end to this, because nobody else is going to end your suffering. You have to do it yourself. So just get out. At point number three is that communication is the most important skill. See, I've been a very big introverted person. I'm very shy growing up. I barely even left the house, studied in a all boys school, and I never really made too many friends or went out or did anything, to be honest. And I always had this innate mentality that if I'm exceptional at what I'm doing, people would just value me by default. People would know about me. People would praise me, appreciate me, and all of those things. But the reality was very different. Throughout college life, I have experienced that, and till this date, my biggest regret from college life is that I did not network enough, I did not talk to enough people. I found like 5-6 great friends in first year, and I did not look for more friends in my whole college life. Of course, I was very fortunate to get such friends, but also I never looked for more friends or more people. And after getting into this content creator space, this business space, entrepreneurship space, I really understand the value of communication. And whenever I'm talking with an entrepreneur, talking with a business owner, I feel the lack in me. I feel the lack of experience I have when it comes to communication, when it comes to persuading people. And I wish I had started speaking early. I wish that dilemma, not even a dilemma, it's a delusion in my mind that, oh, I just need to be good at my work and people will just come talk to me, people will just come find me and give me work. It does not work like that. Communication skills, if you're just going to improve on one thing, it is communication skills. You have to be able to persuade people, you have to be able to mold their thoughts, and you have to be able to create great stories, not just through video, but with your actual words. So if I could go back to 18 years old, the only thing I will focus on is communication skills. At number 4, I would like to say that life is better lived in phases. As soon as I got out of college, started my software engineering job, this whole notion of work-life balance came around from almost everyone. Like you should balance your life and your work, but because I was also a part-time content creator back then, there was not much life and a lot of work. And people would often pity me, like, bro, you work so hard and all that. But it never felt like work to me because I really love making these videos. And even after going through that phase and now running our business while also running the YouTube channel and multiple things together, I can almost certainly say that work-life balance is bullshit. If you are only happy with your life, then maybe you can go with work-life balance. But essentially, I find it better to work for like 5 months than take a 1 month break, or work for 6 days non-stop, no breaks, and take your Sundays off. I feel that is a much better way. That way, my work is never interrupted by fun, and my fun can be much better than anyone who is having fun every single day. So that way, I feel life is better lived in seasons. And the next thing is a little controversial, that people on the internet are only going to tell you, bro, hard work is the real thing. You have to do so much hard work, grind 12, 14, 15 hours a day. But the only heartbreaking part about all of this is that even if you work 10, 12 hours every single day, it does not guarantee you success. Like, suppose if you are standing in the middle of a forest, and if you are trying to get out of that forest, if you just keep running very fast in different directions, there's a very high chance that you will never leave the forest. You will be running in circles or in the same area, because you always keep changing directions. Direction is so much more than the speed you're running at. And that is why you need to be very meticulous about planning and about setting your directions and putting in time and effort into that one single direction, so you can finally get out of the rut or the analogical forest. And it is not absolutely dumb to be focusing on 2, 3 different things at once, but the only problem with our generic brain is that if we keep switching between multiple tasks, it gets nothing out of it. It just never reaches its full potential, and none of the 3 tasks or the 2 tasks get done to its full capability or full efficiency. To achieve efficiency and performance, you need to be using something called time blocking. This is something that I guess discovered in the last year of my college. I have been scheduling my day for the longest time. Okay, I used to be a meticulous scheduler. I used to assign every hour to what I'm going to do, what I'm going to do. But a better way to do is to give a 3-4 hour chunk of time to one particular domain of your life. Next 3-4 hours for another domain of your life. That is a much better way, because your brain can finally get into a zone. That is why I keep all my YouTube related work late at night, from like 10 p.m. till 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. in the morning, because at that time there is no agency work, there is no one disturbing me, and there is nothing else that I need to think about. And that is why I keep my agency work during the day, because it is not always very predictable. So I keep this whole big chunk of time for my agency work. Now this time blocking thing can be done on your calendar app or on a paper, but it is best for making today's video possible. Number 5 is all about your peers. You must have heard that quote, that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That is probably the truest quote I have ever seen being implemented in real life. If you spend time with gamblers, you will gamble a lot of money. If you spend time with entrepreneurs, likewise. So be
Real shit. The hell, man. It's been 45 minutes, I've done nothing but time pass. I should probably sleep right now. I done nothing about webdev. So yes, it's time your blue sleeps. Okay, I'm ending the stream, man.